What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd, the podcast where three friends, three amigos, three bambinos come together to talk about nerd shit. My name is Luis Gonzalez, and with me is
Miguel Sanchez.
And Deadpool.
And this week we got just a lot to talk about. You know, it's been a minute, and we're going to talk about a lot of shit. We're going to talk about a lot of trailers. We're going to talk about a lot of things that we've been into. But first, guys, have you heard about this? That Netflix, what's going on with Netflix? People are dropping off after season 1. And I saw it as a news article, and I said, I want to hear what the boys have to think. So, boys, why do you think people are not watching season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5 of a Netflix ass show? Yes, Ed, go.
I believe that Netflix has cultivated this attitude of, not counting on a show that they enjoy to last very long. How many very popular shows on Netflix in particular have been cancelled after the second or third season? There hasn't been a whole lot of longevity to some of the more popular seasons for one reason or another, but Netflix has usually used the excuse of, oh, well, the audience or the viewership doesn't match the the cost of the show. The big show I'm thinking of is Mindhunters, for one. And when that has happened so many times, I'm falling short on further examples, but I feel like Stranger Things, for example, is like one of the few shows that they've committed to beyond 2 seasons. A lot of other shows have just kind of like 1-2 seasons gone. Despite critical acclaim, despite fan bases, they just like, nah, we're not going to make any more of those. So I feel like there is perhaps something to be said about an attitude going into a show, thinking that maybe it is a singular narrative that's going to be in just one season, whereas you know, whilst that isn't the case for every show, it also reflects on just the nature of streaming anything these days, is where there is so much content to keep up with. Unless you're just like, I don't know, really making waves, you're really not going beyond that first or second season. I think House of the Dragon, for example, is only successful because of that brand of Game of Thrones, which established itself well before the streaming factor came into it. But because of the kind of roller coaster of quality that Netflix puts out as far as shows and movies and everything, it's just like they've given off the impression that they don't give a shit. It's just viewership, right? At the end of the day. And if they can give a first season that just like blows up and becomes a part of the conversation, great. But they don't need to commit to a second season, a third season. And by that point, people are just already moving on to the next. The Stranger Things I mentioned, and I'm sorry I'm rambling here, but Stranger Things, there was like a huge gap between the last season and the season preceding it. At that point, only hardcore fans are really clinging on to that and following up with it. So it's consistency, it's just commitment, and I don't know. I think there's like again that just like the atmosphere that they've created through their streaming, and that they just don't care whether people commit or not because they're not committing either. That's my
totally.
Yeah, I think that really boils down to what it is like, it's just,
damn. How did I pull that all together? Oh my
man, you really put a button on it right there at the end. I mean, it's almost like, I get that Luis wants to talk about it as the thing, but it's like, that's it. You said it. Like they really do just like, it's like a dog with a treat, attached to a stick right in front of it, and Netflix is only chasing viewership, and whatever gets views at any given moment, that's the thing. And then, but what's crazy is just like Netflix commits so many millions of dollars to productions, and then they go, oh, it was just not sustainable. And it was like, but you did that,
Yeah.
like we like
You built that hype. You built
every
that
like
marketplace. You brought in the interest, but then you took it away from the audience.
Yeah, that Ed mentioned Mindhunter, and that for me, which was a good number of years ago now, but like for me, that was when I started being like, I'm gonna pull back from Netflix because, like, clearly the show that is, and that was not just us, dude. People were like, and people still to this day talk about Mindhunter.
And that wasn't the only show either.
No,
it was,
no.
And again, I'm failing to think of some other shows, but they have for sure started up
But I think
new
what that is, Ed,
series that were, again, I mean, like for Mindhunter, it was like the whole David Fincher element to it, and stuff
I
like
think
that. They bring people in these selling points and then they cut it.
I
Sure.
think like Netflix started so strong. Think about those very early streaming shows when Netflix was like new, like Netflix was the game for a while, Like the reason why we have streaming services now is really because those early episodes of like House of Cards, Orange is the New Black,
Thank you. Yes,
like
those were the
those
shows.
early days of Netflix that then also other companies were like, fuck, we need to get some show on streaming, and people were like, I don't even know if this is going to work. It just happens to work for Netflix. And then you cut to like almost 15 years later, like here we are now, and the name of the game is just like content. They're greenlighting more things, and then they're just cutting them all before you can even really, I mean, they're basically like pushing
Let
out
it
the
sink
season and
in.
going,
Yeah.
they're done,
Yeah.
Um,
Like you say, it's content more than anything. And
right.
I mean, yeah, sure. At the beginning there, it really, I mean, you gave those great examples, Orange is the New Black and the House of Cards, and Mindhunter was amongst them, where they were trying to compete with like HBO
HBO,
prestige drama,
yes,
you
yeah.
know. But again, it was just like the lack of commitment. And I mean, they saw out those shows, but I think they also took advantage of again, it was the content element where, I mean,
Well,
because you look at so much of like the Netflix quote unquote produced content that they have, and I mean, it's a huge fluctuation of quality,
and it
but and that's really just to find they're meeting every kind of audience that they
well
can. It's outreach. They're trying to.
the
It's the people staying at home every day watching bullshit like
go on, Ed.
trash
Yeah.
television. Fucking reality TV or soap operas and stuff like that. They have their equivalent to Hallmark movies come Christmas time. They've hit every possible fucking genre, but it's so non-committal. It literally is just that element of we're trying to fill the slots, like trying to give people something to watch
Have
or something
you
to catch their eye.
It's the algorithm also, because and that's just really how the internet is run these days, is like what's the algorithm doing, and all these different streaming services have their own. But it's interesting, like if you sign into your Netflix profile, right? And we're all straight millennial men, right? Every like movie, the thumbnail of every movie you see will feature some either millennial man or like some star that we associate with, But
Yeah.
that same movie, like Legally Blonde, will come across my thing, and they'll be like, "Here's Luke Wilson," But it's like, who's the star of that movie? It's fucking Reese Witherspoon. If I go to my wife's Netflix, Reese Witherspoon will be the main picture. You know what I mean? And so it's just like the algorithm knows this is who's watching. It pushes what it pushes, and then I think that's why we can't because okay, it's like a water cooler situation, and this is really what streaming has done for TV in general. And like Game of Thrones was one of those big ones. Breaking Bad was one of those big ones where the episode would drop and the next day we would all be talking about it,
100%.
But Netflix just like the moment it finds that show, it goes, anyway, we're done. And so it just doesn't like build that following.
And furthermore, they also push, and like one of the things that they're proud to compete with is that they drop all of the episodes to a season as opposed to doing a
Yeah.
weekly episode drop.
Yeah.
And whether, I think for some shows that works definitely, but for some other shows, it's just like people go through that show in a week and then they're
Yeah.
done and moving on to the next thing.
They
There's
move
no,
on. It's
again,
a
there's no build up, there's
stream
no
of
longevity.
consciousness.
Right. People aren't talking about that same show for weeks on end, like a House of the Dragon or whatever. And I'm
Well,
using House of the Dragon as a example because it's going on right now, but that is a constant talking point because week by week we're getting something new and something to add to that conversation.
whereas
Whereas with Netflix, that can be swept up in a week.
yeah. Yeah,
It's just
and
like,
then
oh
but
yeah, I
that
binge
week
watched that show in a couple of days. We'll talk about it this week. On the next week, we're already moving
you're
on.
gone. Exactly. And your week of streaming that is not my week of streaming that, right? Like you sat down and you had the time to watch all 8
Right.
episodes of that show this weekend. I'm catching up 2 or 3 weeks later because you've already like talked about it. Now I don't want to talk to you about it. And therefore I'm not interested in like keeping up with the show because who are my people? Who's my audience? Like who am I talking to about this? You might find like your crew that's like, oh, like a book club, like I can't wait it just dropped. We're going to watch it all at once together. But it's like most of the time that's not happening.
Right. Nobody's talking about Beef that Luis just pulled up right there. Season 2. Season 1 was such a big hit. Like that was like
but
a
was it?
quote unquote. Well, yeah, exactly. It was like such a big deal at the time of release. But the second one kind of came like a fart in the wind.
Like a what?
Like a fart in the wind. And it happens to so many of their movies too, which is a shame because obviously they're not like they've been very vocal about their non-theatrical release, but at the same time they rely on that to get buzz. Like otherwise, again,
If you
it
think
just kind of
about
gets swept under the rug.
cutting over to Hulu for a second, like The Bear is one of those shows that drops all at once. And whether you like The Bear or not, there was a good 2 or 3 seasons there where every time The Bear dropped, like people were like, yes, I have to talk about The Bear right now. And I think that's so rare for streaming shows that drop all at once,
Yeah.
But I saw a tweet the other day where this person was like, I just don't understand why you wouldn't drop all your episodes all at once. And to me, that read as like a new gen audience who is like so accustomed
unfamiliar.
to that. Yeah. And it's like, well, the reason why you don't do that is because of everything we're talking about. You want to talk about the show, you want it to have longevity. Netflix used to have kind of an algorithm built in where it was like, we want to release certain episodes at certain times because it extends the subscription of our service. If we drop it mid-month, right, and there's 8 episodes that bleed into the next month, you're naturally going to buy 2 months of Netflix so you can watch the whole show, and it's like as they make so much fucking money, they don't even care anymore. It's like, yeah, we don't give a shit. Whether you cancel or not, we're still gonna. I mean, how many times has Netflix? I don't even know why Luis put this on here because now you're riling me up. But it's like Netflix.
That's exactly why Luis put it.
That's exactly why I did it. See, this is working out perfectly. I'm producing this magically. Look at this.
Mean, at least 3 times a year, they're like, anyway, we need to talk to you about your subscription increase.
Yeah.
And you're like, great. I love that. I love paying
I'll pay extra if you bring back Mindhunters. You
pull up your Netflix bill right now and let's see how much everyone's paying for Netflix. You know what I mean? I don't even understand the tier system because I just have Netflix. But then they're like, well, if you want to pay a little less, you can get ads. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. All right.
Netflix ads, kill yourself.
Get over yourself. Okay.
It's like,
but no, don't get me started on, I see Luis pulling up the screen here, but how many times do you want to fucking just watch a movie? And they'll let you search you go into the search tab and they'd let you type in the entire title before they're like, we don't have that. And you're like, why did you even let me get this far, dude? You knew what I was asking for. There's only so many letters in Batman Begins or whatever. It's like, I didn't need to get all the way to the S for you to be like, would you like to watch a documentary on bats? You're like, no, that's not what I'm here for.
Or like if it's a specific director, it's always that one movie that they don't have, but it's every
Yes,
other one. Yeah.
bro.
Or
Yeah.
co-produced or something like that.
I've said
Yeah,
this so many goddamn times on this podcast and in person with us, but it's just like Netflix of all the services, and maybe now that like we have Peacock and Paramount, I can get rid of those too. But like Netflix was the big one that I was just like ready to cut the cord or whatever for Netflix, because it's like you just so often are letting me down. Every now and then there's a show that catches my eye.
right.
And maybe a movie that I've been looking for and you happen to have
Yeah.
it. Thank God now I can watch it, you know?
Yeah.
But I just like, I am never clamoring to like open my Netflix app every time I turn on the TV. So
Yeah.
big
But they've
mistake.
become so, and I mean, as far as like movies go, there was like a period where I was just like I was chasing movies basically, trying to make everything available to me at all times. But because I did that, I was able to see that most movies are just going through a rotation through every streaming site.
Every
It's just,
service.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like when Netflix is like, oh, this one's leaving soon. Sure enough, in a couple of weeks, you're going to see it on HBO. Most recently, it was the original Spider-Man trilogy. They were on HBO. They were on Disney. They might still be on Disney, but now they're on Netflix. But they're
Can I
leaving
tell
Netflix.
you, I love of all the streaming services, I love when they give you some sort of heads up. I at least like to know, hey, this is your last chance to see
Oh,
this thing.
right.
Those
And I
things
feel
work
like
for
most of
me.
them are doing that now.
Yeah.
Now,
You
it
know,
wasn't always the case.
a few years
Prime
ago,
Prime Video is the
I
worst at that.
I want to bring that up. Okay, I was about to say this, Ed. A few years ago, Prime was this like golden search bar where you could first find the movie and it would tell you, yes, we have it, or no, we don't. And then we click on it. I love Louis, dude. And then you would click on the movie. This was years ago now. You would click on the movie and it would go, hey, babe, you want to watch this movie? It's over on Netflix. Or, oh, it's over on HBO. Amazon for a while did that. And now no streaming service does that. And the very worst thing you could do is Google, Ed, pick a movie. Ed, tell me a movie just off the top of your head. Go. Any movie, old or
Batman
new.
Forever.
Batman Forever. Okay. I could Google Batman Forever streaming where, and it'll give me a list of all the places it's streaming, which is apparently everywhere. And then you open any one of those apps and they go, you fuck, we don't have that fucking movie here. And you're like, what was the point? You know?
Yeah.
What was the point of even telling me you had that movie?
Let me pull it up for you.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
it's all just like, let me fluff your balls real
quick.
What
I've experienced with Prime Video, I know we're going down a rabbit hole now, but
why'd you do this, Luis?
Why I was watching, I have watched. There have been multiple occasions where I've started a movie on Prime Video, and it's been on my list for a while or whatever. And without indicate, like I'll start a movie, maybe get halfway through it or something, and then the very next day it's unavailable to me.
Yeah,
and you have to subscribe to something.
Hang on, what's funny about that, Luis? Goddamn, like, he's being real. He's telling you the pain that he feels. You were like, you stupid bitch.
Yeah,
I could really
feel
that does suck. He really felt it.
There was one where, yeah, one time it was The
it?
Godfather Part 2, and I was watching it, and I got halfway through it, and more recently it was The Great Escape, and I got halfway through it, and it's a movie I've seen a million times, but I wanted to go back. I wanted to go back and finish it, and it's like, what? Didn't you know you have to get a subscription for something else?
I hate it when they go, we don't have that movie. You just had that movie, okay?
Yesterday. And you didn't give me a warning. There was no countdown saying that you were getting rid of it tomorrow.
No.
Tomorrow? It was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm
trying to
sorry
remember.
I didn't finish the 3.5-hour movie right then and there.
Because we're talking about these kind of eras of streaming where it was like the beginning and then where we are now. There was like a middle era where there was definitely like mid-movie, like Hulu or something was like, oops, we're done showing you this movie. And you're like, wait, I was in the middle of watching that. They were like, it's on something else now, bitch. And you're like, okay. And that's really
the rights cannot
core...
be that contentious, you know?
No. It's like, give me a little bit of grace period here, okay?
Right. And that's the thing is like, it's all these studios who are just like, oh, you got it for this long.
Well,
past this point.
Now I'm spiraling down this like rabbit hole. Two things. Now we're in this like mode of life where like things like Amazon will decide if you bought this movie digitally, you don't own it anymore. We just had we were licensing it to you, and we don't have the license to that anymore. So now you don't. But then things like Drive. Do you guys remember a few years ago when Drive was like all of a sudden all the music in that movie, they didn't have the quote unquote license for it anymore. So Amazon had to like throw in a whole new soundtrack for people who were watching that movie. Yeah, no, there's like two different versions of that movie now. And I hate that because it's like, that's not what that production intended, you know? It's like this was the movie, and now you've completely changed it.
Kristen, like, thank God I have it on DVD right here. You know,
Ed, that's the fucking crux of it all. Is like, thank God for physical media. Okay, yeah. And the same with like PlayStation recently. That is literally what's happening. And then what you're going to start seeing is they're going to start pulling these discs because they want you to be like, oh, I guess this is the only fucking way. Luis, the way you fucking laugh every time I say something or Ed says something, okay? You got me riled up and now you're laughing.
Don't hide behind your little streaming menu there. Luis, what do you have to say about all of this?
We talked so much,
You guys
Luis.
nailed it. No,
for 20 minutes. 20 minutes we've been talking.
I knew when I brought it up, I was like, oh, I'm going to let these boys fly. You know, and you guys did. You guys really, really did. What else can I say? I mean, you guys nailed it. You know, I got nothing else. They trained the audience to act this way. You know, so
do you guys remember that show from the like early 2000s? It was Amanda Bynes, What I Like About You. Do you even remember? It was on like WB or CW or something. Does that sound familiar?
Vaguely, yeah.
The opening theme of that TV show was What I Like About You. You really know how to dance, or whatever.
Yeah.
Kristen recently, I don't think she had ever seen the show, or maybe she just had forgotten about it. She found it on like Prime or whatever, and started watching it. And one night I sat in bed with her while the next episode played, and it was a completely different opening theme. And I Googled it, and it was simply that thing I was saying earlier. They just ran out of the license for that song.
Wait, really?
So they picked a whole different song where the song didn't fit at all, except for one of the actors in the opening credit like points to the camera and says, you, like what I like about you. And he points to the camera. And they picked a song. Thank you, Elise. They picked a song where they happened to say the word you, like right there. Otherwise, the song didn't match at all. And I was just like, and that really bothered me. And Kristen was like, I don't know. It sounds right to me. And I'm like, no, okay. I remember exactly where I was when this show came out. This is not it. All right.
These are completely valid points.
Thank you for coming to the podcast. I've been saying this recently. I feel like a boomer. Like I feel like I've gotten so old because like the things I complain about, like don't.
And it mostly comes down to technology.
Yeah, no, like, I know.
It's
right?
fucking technology trying to make my life easier. No, it's making my life harder, more complicated.
It's not, though. Okay.
Yeah.
They want to control you, Ed.
Exactly. They preconditioned my mind to not worry about a second season of a show. Like what?
And here we are. No, I'm about to go like raid all of the thrift stores. Like I went to the library last week and I rented a couple of DVDs and Blu-rays just because it's like I just want to watch these things.
Whoever wants to know, I mean, the Criterion Collection is having its 50% off sale right now up until the 17th.
Don't even
hop in on that.
Don't get me started, but have you guys like been in a Barnes and Noble recently? The bookstore?
Bitch, you know I have not.
You walk into that bookstore now and it's like 75% toys for kids, like straight up toys. It's the toy aisle on Max. Think about Toys R Us. Barnes and Noble is like Barnes R Us. And then they've got books, but all the books are like, hey, you know Jill Biden? Here's 40 of her books. And you're like, cool, right. Okay. I'm looking for a specific book. They're like, we got it in a really super collector's edition. And you're like, okay. Look at it. It's toys. I go into Barnes & Noble. Ed, I told you I think it was the boy's birthday earlier this year or Christmas, and you were like, what can we get the boy? And I said, well, he's reading a lot. You know, let's get him a gift card to Barnes & Noble. And
gift card.
You guys were so kind to give him like, I think it was like $30 or something like that, which for a child is $1 million. Okay. And we went to Barnes & Noble.
Good for a couple of books, you know.
That's what I thought. We went to Barnes & Noble. He picked out a whole fucking Lego thing. We had to find like a Lego book that had a bunch of Legos in it, and it was like, can we just at least make it some reading?
Does that have words on it?
It
The
was
instructions don't count. The instructions don't count.
it was like a Lego. It was like a 10 item Lego thing where it's like the book was like, here's how you build Legos, and they gave you the Legos to build those things.
Yeah, Google that, Luis.
Yeah, let's see how you let's see you do that. Go to youtube.com/@punchdrunknerd.
But no, you're right. I mean, that's just the nature of the world right now. It's very niche things. Like you see, I mean, Barnes and Noble has that Criterion corner, but it also has the A24 corner now. Vinyls are coming back. So vinyls are a big deal there. You have the anime, the the Lego, like Miguel was saying. There's like a Harry Potter corner. Like
it's all IPs,
it's all,
right?
Exactly, IPs.
What sells?
Exactly, 100%. And
that's the capitalistic hellscape we live in. What an episode. We love this. We love doing this. I'm so tired. This has been Punch Drunk Nerd with Luis Gonzalez, me, Miguel Sanchez, and our big boy, Ed Ball. And until next time, later Gators. Do we still say that? Later Gators.